So good evening and welcome everyone to our kickoff for Women Who Win 2020. So we're excited to be able to reach out. To say that these are unprecedented times really isn't fair to unprecedented times, especially because, as one of my clients likes to joke, it feels like every single month we're moving and advancing through the levels of the Jumanji game to an extent. So we want to make sure whether you have a concept for a business and you're looking to launch, or if you're going through and looking to, and I'm going to use the infamous word pivot and transition in your business, that you have some really great skill sets. So going through and developing this program, one of the most important things is to find the voice in your business and really the heartbeat and the soul of your entity. And that's where we start with tonight. So tonight we're talking about your vision, your mission, your purpose, the voice of your company as a whole. So I'm going to turn it over to Elizabeth Roney, who is our communications director, to kick off with introductions. But thank you all so much and welcome.
Thank you, Cassie. Yes, I have the privilege of introducing tonight Katie Ross. Katie Ross has worked in the field of higher education for over 10 years. She is an innovative educator focused on the intersection of emerging technology and online learning. As an administrator, mentor, and researcher, she believes in evolving education to increase access and relevancy. As a leader, Katie provides education and tools to help people thrive by teaching the actions that lead to growth. Through coaching, workshops, and course development, Katie is dedicated to helping students and professionals grow their connections and capabilities. Katie earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree in psychology from the University of Central Florida and a Master's of Arts degree in education, media design, and technology from Full Sail University. She is currently a doctoral candidate at Northeastern University, where she is studying the connection between virtual reality and education. It is my pleasure to introduce Katie Ross.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with us on, I think it's Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Around that time, it's easy to forget what day it is. And really just discussing articulating your vision, mission, and purpose. And this is something, these are one of those topics that is, there needs to be a lot of time and intention around. So we'll spend 1 hour today just discussing this topic and thinking about the topic and being intentional about what this means for us. However, I wouldn't want anyone to have a goal today to leave thinking they're going to have this amazing vision, mission, and purpose statement. It really doesn't work that way, and it shouldn't work that way. Crafting something along these lines should take time. So I would like to invite everyone to get a pen and pencil around you. We are going to do some journaling, some free writing around certain topics. I will also be taking sips of water throughout this presentation because I will be chatting, so please forgive me. So for the agenda today, we will be going over our vision, mission, and purpose. We'll also do some goal setting as well. And if we have enough time at the end, we will do a workshop too, and help us get around the idea of articulating our vision, mission, and purpose. So again, make sure you have a pen and paper out. You will need that. There's gonna be some times today where I'm gonna say, hey, write down some thoughts. It's gonna have that awkward pause that we experience in the online setting, but we're all just gonna lean into that. And with that too, I wanna remind everyone that there are a variety of people in here today. And you might be here because you are looking to create a new vision, a mission, or purpose for your business. You might just be thinking about opening a business, and this might be your first time even thinking about these ideas. And you might just be here for yourself. I think that's perfectly fine too. I think we're all reaching for something, and that could be our vision that we'll be putting together. So there are a variety of audience members in here today. And if I use the word business, you can just translate that word to yourself. And if I use the word yourself, you can just translate that word to your business, whatever is going to work for you. But I just wanted to bring that to mind for everyone. You do not have to be getting ready or already have an established business to be here today. So why is a vision, mission, and purpose important, right? And the focus around that is that a vision helps you understand what it is that you're hoping to create, right? A common purpose, when you have that vision statement, the mission statement, it builds motivation for people to understand what they are actually going to focus on. They see that they're, especially if you're in a business and you're creating something along these lines, you realize that you are kind of in this as a team. You can, and if you're writing something for yourself and you write a vision or mission statement or purpose, whichever one it is, or even your goals, you can share that with a mentor, with a boss, with a colleague, a networking buddy to help you stay on track as well. So the idea around this topic is to create that common purpose. It's also a snapshot of what is important to you, what's important to the business. And you can use this as a guide when you're being asked to do things, when you're determining whether or not something belongs on your schedule, right? That's something we should always be asking ourselves when we get that calendar invite. How does this fit into my larger picture? So you can use that as a guide. And it also cultivates focus for yourself and for your team. Again, kind of back to that idea, you can determine, hey, is this important for me? Is it important for the department? And then it allows, if you have a group of people working for you or interns, whoever it is, allows you to go, hey, this is the focus, this is the goal. And you as the leader, when you step away from being with your team members all the time and everyone's working remotely like we are now, you can understand that everyone is driving towards that same mission. In my department, you know, I get to work, I have 5 people, I work with 140 faculty, probably a little over 140 faculty, but I have 5 direct reports. And within those 5 direct reports, each one of them kind of have a different purpose and mission and vision for their department. Granted, it all, when it fits the vision, the voice of their team members, but ultimately it feeds up into the ultimate purpose. And I do work at Full Sail University, and you know, we're all working towards that same goal with Full Sail. But you can have different, depending on the bubbles that you might have in your department or what your focus is, you have the ability to kind of have a mission and a vision for those little pockets as well. So I want to, let's see. So diving right in, our vision is a lofty goal. I'm going to pause for 1 second because, in all honesty, I can't see the chat. So I think that might be, I just want to see if I can.
I am actually going through, Katie, and following the chat for you. So no
Okay, so we're good?
Yep, you're all set.
Feel free to just jump in if there's something that you want to bring up, like I should pause and stop and just let me know, and we'll go that way. Okay. All right, perfect. Work back through these. So our vision, this is not simple, but kind of simple. And that's that your vision is a lofty goal. Your vision is the thing that when you tell somebody about your vision, they should be like, I don't know if you can do that, right? It should kind of be really hard to achieve. That's a vision. You are thinking about something that maybe nobody else has thought about before. Your vision is limitless. It can be anything you want. And a lot of times, I know that the title of this is vision, mission, and purpose. So I've created the structure around the way it was worded, but you don't have to start with just creating a vision. Some people enjoy thinking about that big, lofty goal. That comes really easily to them. Other people, it doesn't come easily to them. So that's fine too. That means you could start with just thinking about your purpose or your mission, which we'll be discussing today as well. So it's okay if when I say it's this lofty goal and you're like, Katie, I don't know about that lofty goal. The lofty goal should be scary to yourself too. So it's okay if you don't want to start with a vision. So a vision should be short, right? A typical vision is it's brief. You kind of think about it like it's something that you could put on a t-shirt. It would fit there. Something that you can put on your stationery, letterhead, business card, even. And with the vision statement, you want it to be long term. You want it to be 20 years out from where you are. And you could even kind of step that back if you wanted to and do 5 years out, 10 years out, 15, 20 years, and maybe even kind of scaffold your goals around that way too. But the key to the good vision statement is that it's long-term, it's broad, and it's not generic. So you don't want to be specific, because if you are, you kind of limit where you can go. And you want it to be clear about who you are as a person, if you're doing this personally for yourself, or you want to be clear about your company. So the best statement will be clear about who you are as a company, as well as who you wish to become. So now's when we're going to dive in a little bit into, let me give you the example first before we do the free writing. So I picked Tesla. I'm a huge Tesla fan. I think their cars are beautiful, but not just that. As Liz introduced me, I love technology and how it's changing the world that we're in, especially for online learning, which is an area I'm very passionate about. So Tesla is, I believe, doing the same thing with technology. And so Tesla's vision statement is to create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles, right? So create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electronic vehicles. And I would say they are accomplishing that. Well done, Tesla. And you can tell, again, this is a big, lofty goal. I mean, when you think about when this was first created, I'm sure people are like, "What? No one's going to buy that. Look at what that thing looks like." You know, I personally think it's one of the nicest. I actually usually say sexiest car on the road. I think it looks sharp. So you can tell with Tesla, right? They are changing the way that we are driving, that we're getting around, and how that cares for the environment as well. So coming back to our idea of the vision statement, this is where I'm going to have you guys do some journaling. So this is where you get your pen and paper out or have your notebook open on your laptop. And we're going to lean into some awkward pauses that are going to happen here. You're also welcome to share things in the comment feature as well if you want to, and we can have Cassie kind of jump in and share those. So I'm going to ask you a few questions first, and then we'll do the sharing. So there's 3 questions just to give everyone's a head up. So here's what you want to think about. You don't have to write down any sentences. This is free write, so you can just write down a word, you can draw a picture, you can just write something down that's the first thing that you think of, and we'll kind of pull it all together towards the end. So think about this. What are you passionate about? What are you hoping to create this vision around? Again, this can be words, it can be sentences. What are you passionate about? Okay. Next question. What do you consider to be your values? So if you're writing this for your business, what are your business values? If you're writing this for yourself, what are your values? What do you consider? So not what you want the audience to think, what you consider. Or those core values.
If you could repeat that second question, please, Katie.
Yep. What do you consider are your core values? It can be your personal core values. It could be the core values of your business. What are those core values? Again, just writing down some words, drawing a picture. What makes you different from the rest of the world? What makes you different from the rest of the world? Or what makes your business different from the rest of the world? So you have, what are you passionate about? What are your core values? What makes you different from the rest of the world? So again, this is just putting some ideas behind an idea of a vision statement. If you already have a vision statement, if you already have a business, then you can use these questions to check your vision statement. Are you still staying true to what that vision is? But the good news is that our vision statements aren't etched in stone. You know, we're not, you know, writing this down and then never ever able to change it again. Your vision statement can change, your mission statement can change, all as things evolve, without a doubt. So keep that in mind too. Just because you do something now doesn't mean it has to stay that way. So again, Tesla, create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. I would say it's pretty simple to understand what makes them different, what their core values are, and really what they're focused on. So moving into our mission. So your mission statement, okay, is the what and how. The mission statement should reflect your vision, and it's also this driving force behind decision making. So a lot of people can sometimes get the vision and the mission confused. Sometimes people don't do a vision, they just do a mission. So here are some of the main difference between the two. So your mission should clarify the vision, okay? The mission is really where it says how you're going to get something done. It describes what's going to get done and why that is going to happen. So the mission statement and vision statement, they are similar in that they both look at the big picture, but the mission statement is actually concrete. The mission statement is something that you can come back to and measure whether or not you did something. Mission statement is action oriented, and vision statements is action oriented, right? The vision statement's much bigger, mission statement action oriented. Your vision statement should inspire people, and your mission statement should inspire them to action. These are the things that we're going to do. So kind of clarifying those actions would be what it does and who it serves is what you could ask, like what you're going to do, who is this going to serve, what is the purpose behind this, and how are we going to do it? So continue with this idea of looking at Tesla. So Tesla their mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Now, when Tesla was first created, their mission statement was actually to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable transport. They changed it in, I think it was 2016, to energy. One simple change of a word, energy, transport, and it makes a difference for what fits that company. But again, I think if Tesla is changing their stuff, any of us can change our stuff. So please allow that to be your gift. If anyone is like, I don't know if I can change this, it's on my website, it's on all my letterhead. If you need to change it because it fits where your company is going, where you're going, then you owe it to yourself to change it. So the change was to address the market opportunities for Tesla for renewable energy, which we know they moved into that space. And it was really just kind of a way to incorporate the missions, recognizing like the batteries that they're using and energy storage products that they were creating, in addition to the electric car market too. So again, they needed to change the word to fit the market that they were actually moving into and already established in. So thinking about your mission statement, I want you to think about this. I am on a mission to. So here we go with some writing again. I am on a mission to. What are you on a mission to do? As a business, as an individual, what are you on a mission to do? Write down a few words, draw a picture, write a poem if you want, whatever is going to fit you to help you brainstorm around this idea. Again, the purpose isn't that you write a concrete mission statement today. It's that you just get moving in the right direction with it and that you're creating some intention around this space. I am on a mission to. Now I'm going to ask some questions and I want you to think about the words you wrote down, maybe a sentence, whatever it is. The words you wrote down, are they action oriented? Are there action words associated with that? I'll ask a question and you can write down some words around this. How would you measure if you completed this mission? How would you measure that? What actions would need to take place to help you complete your mission? And with your mission too, you want to start to really think about your audience, or who else would come into your business. Would they fit this mission? Again, also going back to when things are popping up on your calendar, you're looking at going away on the weekend or do something on the weekend or hanging out with people, right? Like, are they part of that mission that you're moving forward into? So your mission statement, when you do go to write the mission statement, or if you have one now, your mission statement is usually like one concise sentence that's action oriented. So it should be difficult to write. It should be something that you kind of massage a little bit. You change words out until you really get something concrete in place. And then moving into, okay, I'm really proud of myself, everyone. I just figured out how to get the chat box up. Thank you. I know I feel very proud of myself for this. So moving into our why, our purpose. And our purpose is our why. Why are we doing this? Why is this important? So the mission statement is about what you do and for who. Your purpose statement is kind of this reason why you exist. Okay, this is what you plan on doing. Whole Foods, I love Whole Foods mission statement. I think Tesla has some work to do in their purpose statement, so no, I'm kidding. But Whole Foods, their purpose is to nourish people and the plants. I love that, and I think that's something that Whole Foods does. They nourish the people and the planet. So, and when you go to Whole Foods and you check out, you have opportunities to donate your back credit to a local charity that they're trying to support that's local. So again, you can see that when you walk around Whole Foods that they are really trying to nourish people from a healthy spot. Yes, at a cost, if anyone wants to make that joke, but they are doing what they set out to do. So the purpose is why you do what you do. Kind of thinking about back to your vision, you have that vision, that's a lofty goal. Why is that important? Why is that important to you? So we're going to do some free writing around this one. Thinking about that vision. Yes. So why does anyone care what you do? Why is this important to other people? Your vision statement, your mission statement, why is this important? Why do you choose to focus on this, on your vision statement? Why is writing that down important to you? And why should anyone care? Other than I think everyone is fabulous, so everyone should care about each other, but when it comes to your vision, why should people, what's it matter? So to review this piece, before we move into the goals, your vision is lofty, it's huge, it's big, it should be really scary and daunting. You should tell people about it and they should be like, I don't know how much coffee you had this morning, but that sounds crazy. That's a good sign. If someone's like, oh yeah, you could totally do that, that's simple, I would say you're not dreaming enough and that you need to add some more. You need to think bigger. Your mission is your how and your what. How are you going to do this? How's this going to take place? Why does this matter? What's the importance? And the purpose is that why. You know, you can ask yourself, do you need a vision, purpose, and a mission? Not every company does. Not everyone has one. Some people focus more on having a vision statement and a values statement. And some of them are similar in some ways, the way they word them. But you definitely want to put some intention and awareness around this, whether, again, if it's for yourself or for a larger business. Your vision is a picture. Big goal, right? The mission is the road that's going to get you there, those actionable steps. So, and the purpose is something that everyone understands the why. They choose to join your organization or not. They choose to be your friend around your why. They choose to do goal setting with you based on this why. So shocking enough, this weekend I was on Facebook. I know, odd, I can't believe I'd be on social media. And I came across one of the ads that popped up, I guess during this time, the COVID-19 time. I have found myself purchasing a lot of the ads that pop up. I've been very impressed with these pointed ads that come across my feeds. I've even had a little bit of fun with it. Like if I want to get something but can't find it, I'll mention it. Like, you know, I'll talk into my phone or I'll do like a Google search for the word and see what happens. And sure enough, it doesn't fail, it pops up, which I think is really cool. Again, technology. I think it's interesting when I understand that there's a dark side to technology very much. But I think when we can use technology to help us save time and energy, I'm all about it. So I came across this website and this is a good example. So it's Hey Mama. I don't know if anyone has heard about this. I don't know why this popped up on my targeted ads. I'm not a mom, but we'll just go with it. And this is on their front page. And it's Hey Mama connects mothers who are growing careers and families. The juggle is real, and we're here to provide you with the community and experience to propel you forward. So in the chat, or you can unmute yourself as well. I'm 100% fine if you unmute yourself. I actually encourage you to do so. What do you see here? Do you see a vision statement? Do you see a mission statement? Do you see a purpose? Talk to me a little bit about what you see.
It looks like a mission to me. It's connecting is an action word, so it doesn't seem so lofty and unachievable. like you were saying, the difference between the two. So
Excellent. A+. Not that you need a grade, but yes, you're right. It's right here, and you're spot on. There's no vision here, right? There's nothing lofty about it. I mean, this is amazing, and it's a why. Why would I join this? Because I want to join a community with people who are going to help me move forward. So I was like, oh, well, I wonder if they have a vision statement, because this is the front page of their website that you go to. And then as I clicked around some more, and I came across their about page, this is where you saw more of that vision statement. Where would you guys say where a vision statement is here? You can unmute yourself, you can type, whatever works for you. And there's not a right or wrong, to be completely honest with you. I think everyone might see something a little different, and that's fine.
In the solution, they speak on seeking, so it's not like they're not actively doing it. It's kind of that's what they're wanting to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hey Mama seeks to build an ecosystem of working mothers who collaborate and empower one another to become the decision makers around their work, life, and family. Absolutely.
I would agree that that would be the closest to a vision, because, you know, everything else feels a little bit of a history, and then maybe, you know, the catalyst for them. But I would agree there with the solution being the closest to a vision.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And I think, you know, this idea of seeks to build an ecosystem, right? Like that's the goal that they're really aiming for, to an ecosystem, multiple people coming together to collaborate and empower one another to become the best decision makers around their work, life, and family. I think any mother would probably, again, I'm not one only to 2 dogs, but I think any mother would say that's a lofty goal, you know, to be able to feel empowered around all 3 of those things, which I know so many women do on the daily. But yes, you're absolutely right. And I think this is a good example where the company has nestled their vision statement into a different area. Like I said, the vision statement sometimes, if it's front and center, depending on what it is, can be jarring to people. It might make people maybe turn away a little bit because maybe it seems too big. Maybe it's too anxiety inducing for them, whereas they can see more of those, your purpose, why you're doing what it is, how you're going to do it. It's a bit more tolerable, easy to swallow for them and get behind. Any questions so far before I move into the goal setting? Any questions? Okay, so the next part is goal setting, and I'll be honest with you, I'm a huge sucker for goals. I love them so much. I don't think would be able to get through being a full-time employee and a full-time student without goals. So this is also goal setting where no matter what your vision, purpose, and mission statement are, your goal setting is really where the rubber hits the road. You can create the best vision statement, mission statement, craft so much around your purpose and your why. But if you're not willing to do the work that it's going to take to get there, there's nothing that great is going to happen. This is where you have that lofty goal, and you have that lofty goal because it's definitely somewhere that you can get, and you're going to get them through these goals that you're going to create. So we'll write down some goals too to help put get that action orientated aspect, really touching into our mission statement here. Also, I want to repeat, because I think it's important to keep in mind, when you go and you create these goals, that might help you craft your vision statement and mission statement. It can also be a way that you check your purpose. Are you staying on top of what your why is? So keep that in mind. I have a tendency to always do everything backwards. Like if people would start with the vision, mission, and purpose, I would be the one who'd be like, I have to start with the purpose. It's just how my mind works. So I think there's a lot in creating a framework that's going to work for you around this. So goal setting is, I'm not going to speak about anything revolutionary, but I'm a huge fan of SMART goals. Huge fan of SMART goals. I think they are the goals that keep us accountable. They are goals that you can share with someone else and they can check you on those goals. They can check how you're doing, the progress you're making. They can check you and say, like, these aren't very actionable. So I love that about SMART goals. There are many different frameworks for goals. You're more than welcome to do any of them. I personally think SMART goals provide just a really solid structure, and that's what we'll move through today. It's also okay when you're writing down your goals and you are making them SMART. So they're not generic goals. They're not just like, I'm going to open a business. A SMART goal would be, I'm going to fill out my LLC paperwork by Friday, August 20th. So it is okay. Your goals should be like that lofty goal where it's a really big dream. These SMART goals should also make you feel a little uncomfortable. They should make you excited, first off. I should say that. They should make you very excited. But they should show you that you've got work in front of you to do, for sure. They should be a point where you look at them and you think, oh man, I've got a lot to do. And then your heart starts to pump real fast, like you drink too much coffee, and then you have to step away from them. So SMART goals, S. Does anyone know? I'm sure a lot of people know what SMART goals are. So S stands for specific, right? So I gave that example of business, and you don't just say like, I'm going to start a business, right? That's not very specific. You'd want to get really specific for what that goal is going to do, what you want to do. I'm going to fill out my LLC paperwork by this date. That is a specific thing that you're going to do. So you should also have a lot of goals as well, depending on where you are and what you're focused on. M is measurable. You should be able to measure whether or not this is taking place. So I'm going to fill out my LLC paperwork by Friday, August 20th. You should be able to, on August 20th, come back around and say, I have something to measure this by. I know that I got this done or I didn't get it done. Achievable. It should be something you're going to, that you can actually achieve. Don't set yourself up for not being successful in this. So if you know that on the 20th and every day leading up to August 20th, you have something to do and you're going to have to stay up all hours of the night to fill out your paperwork, it's probably not achievable that you're going to be able to get that paperwork done and on time. So make sure it's something that you can actually make happen. Has to be realistic as well. So on top of it being achievable, something that gets done, it has to make sense for what you're focused on. So in this sense too, where you're focused on creating this vision, right? You have this lofty goal that you're going to do. Really asking yourself when you're writing down these goals, is this realistic to what I'm actually aiming towards? And now I think we have to be a little, I don't think realistic is, I think achievable is more important than it being realistic so much, because creating a lofty goal is something you should do and it should all be encouraged to. But I'm sure if Elon, when he was writing down his goals and he was like, is this realistic? And he looked around him, he might have thought, no, this isn't so realistic. I'm going to have to create all these extra parts and do something that's never been done before and create these factories here in the United States, which we don't do. So be mindful of this one. I think focused on, is it really achievable, is the important part in putting those right dates on it. And then timely. You have to be able to get it done within a certain time frame. So putting that date on it, that makes sense. That's at an achievable date. Helps bring all of our components together, but being specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic, and making sure it's done on time. SMART. Very simple framework that you can put together when you are kind of after this session throughout your next week or two and you're thinking about your vision, mission, and purpose, and you sit down to write these goals, you can ask yourself if they're hitting these marks. And then you want to give them to someone. So you have someone who's going to hold you accountable for what you're hoping to do. And then communication. You have to practice, 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 right? So you can have the best vision, the best mission, the best purpose. You can be doing all of your goals, but you have to be able to communicate it to people and share it with people, which is why when you are creating a vision, mission, and purpose, that you shouldn't do it in 1 hour, right? You should really put some intention around this. So my recommendation is that today is just foundation for you. It's just creating some intention of what this might look like. I would recommend that you take each component, vision, mission, and purpose, and you write your vision, and you give yourself a week to write your vision. Give yourself a week to write your mission, a week to write your purpose and to think about it and create a lot of intention. And you put a week around it, each one of them. Then once you've done that, you write it down, you step away from it, you come back, you massage some words, you change it, you socialize it, you bring it to people, you ask them what they think. This should all take time. You should have a lot of feedback on what this looks like. And then once you have it solidified and you know this is exactly what you're going to focus on, then you want to practice, practice, practice. It's that elevator pitch, which I know we've heard about so much. But if someone says to you, what is your vision about? What are you focused on right now? You can easily say it. You know, when I was first picking my dissertation topic, I hated when people asked me, what are you going to, what's your topic going to be? Because it's like, it's about virtual reality, learning, students, you know, it's like you kind of fumble around with it. But once I had to actually put down and submit my area of study, it became very simple. I'm going to study the lived experiences of online students who use virtual reality for learning. Boom, there it is. Wrote it down, and that's what's in front of me all the time. That's what I'm focused on all the time, to probably nauseam to some people who are in my life. So when you have finally written everything down and it feels good to you and you socialize it with people and people are like, yes, or if you have a business and you are looking at your vision, mission, and purpose, asking people, hey, does my business say this to you? Are you seeing this? Or, hey, when you see my vision statement, what is it saying to you about my business? You should really spend a lot of intention around these things, and you should talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And get feedback from people on, did that make sense? Did that sound right? Did I use the right words? So that way when the opportunity presents itself for you to be able to share something about your business or yourself, boom, you can do it quickly. You can get people interested and want to lean in and learn more. So I want to remind everyone to be yourself, embrace your wild, wild dreams, discover, spend time dreaming about these things. And if you have a business and you're looking to take it further or just reestablish things, create some intentional time around what is important to your heart so that it is authentic to you. Because when it's authentic to you, that's when it's going to really resonate with those that are around. So we do have a little bit of time left, which is perfect because I do want to workshop some ideas. And I was hoping that depending on where you are, again, whether you're in a business, just here for yourself, I would love for you to share some of the things that you wrote down today and that we can hear them and also give you an opportunity to practice. And if you have a business already, feel free to show us your vision and mission. And if you want feedback, we can provide feedback. We have a great group here with us tonight, all very knowledgeable that can provide that insight. So I'm going to open the floor. And if anyone has any questions, of course, you can definitely ask questions. I'm here for that too. I can see the chat too, just in case anyone types in. If anyone wants to unmute themselves and share, that is perfect as well. If you want to go onto your website and copy and paste something and put it into the chat box, I'm more than happy to read it out loud, and we can workshop it. And really, if you do have a business, I hope you'll share it. I hope you'll let us see what you put together so that we can also learn. Callie unmuted. Okay, great. Go ahead.
And then I muted myself again. Well, good evening, and thank you so much for that talk too, because one of the things that I found confusing for myself is that I'm diverse in what I do, and I was trying to figure out what direction I needed to go into. And part of it could be educational, but the other part is scientific, like data science. And I was trying to figure out, okay, do I split these into two different business concepts? And so when do you know when things are overarching, and when do you know when they actually have to be divided? So it then got into like more confusing stuff. And then I thought, am I being too cerebral about this? How would you use the tools that you just described to try to get at the focus of that? That makes sense.
It does make sense. And I hate to say something so generic, but it's almost like I would need more context. So like, is it a product that you sell? Is it a...
So part of the service that I do, so I do big data analytics, and then I do the visualization of that. So that could be one side of the house. But the other side of the house is using augmented reality and storytelling to be able to creatively unleash somebody's imagination. And this could be in a rehabilitation setting, or it could be in just building confidence, etc., in somebody. So it's not a game, it's an experience.
Yes, and I love this topic naturally. Okay, so my recommendation, especially because you're talking big data, visualization, AR, and storytelling. These are 4 very unique topics that don't have a gigantic audience around them. Now, I think everyone should be using big data. I think everyone should be thinking about visualizing data, but not everyone is just yet. We are going to get there. So I think you're in a really cool market. So what your best bet at this point, yes, all 3 of these things connect for sure. But it's to really think about, especially the storytelling piece too, right? Because storytelling and visualization are similar. You're using the visuals to tell the story. You're using the big data to pull together the visualization to tell the story, right? And then the AR is the experience. This is how you can experience the story. So they are all connected. For you, I would think about your audience. Who's going to hire you? And then think about, once you have that information, then start crafting your vision, mission, and purpose. You already kind of have the purpose done, but the vision and the mission. I do not think they're separate, but I think you're lucky. Again, I'm going to say this again because I think it's important. I think you're lucky in the sense that, like, some people are going to hear the word big data and not understand what big data means. There's a difference between just like data analytics and big data and what that can do for a company. So I would think about your audience as your first step.
Oh, that's excellent, because this is like a circular argument for me. It's kind of like, where am I going? What am I doing? And then I'm right back in the beginning of trying to figure out who would I target? And that has been probably a big sticking point. Yeah,
and it's also, I would, and again, as someone who's studying virtual reality, right? Like, I understand that all of the things you're talking about are coming down the pipeline as a society, but I think there are still a lot of people in society who don't know that yet. So you're lucky in that sense that you can just kind of stay focused on your niche market. And I'll give you my email address. I'm going to put it actually, Cassie, if you could type my email address into the chat too. Once you write something, you can give my full cell email address. I would be happy to help you and give you feedback on it too.
Oh, that would be excellent. Thank you.
But they're not separate, this stuff that you're talking about. Don't do that. Don't act like it is. It's not. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just want to jump in, listening to Katie, give that kind of feedback, it makes me think of what you said earlier in the presentation, which is if you find yourself getting overwhelmed with trying to imagine this vision and this mission, start with the purpose. Because for me, that's something really concrete, a little bit smaller, and then I can feel like I can build from there, and it removes me from some of that like nebulous circular thinking.
I love that, Jackie. Thank you for adding that. Absolutely. The concrete, it's like the logical part, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because one of the things I just kept writing down was problem solving with a conscience, because it just seems like, what we typically have is manipulation using data. And I don't want what I'm doing to be in that vein. So it's going to be something that I want it to be, how do you want to say this? It's something that can help things grow. It's not about manipulating somebody to buy something or manipulating somebody's behavior to do something. Does that make sense?
Right. 100%, especially because the augmented reality piece. And I think that's what grounds it in the experience that the person's going to have.
Okay.
Great. That's super cool though. I'd love to hear more about that.
And Katie, if I could go ahead and hop in for just a minute from the perspective of National Association of Women Business Owners, our NAWBO Orlando organization, we're a local presence of a national organization. Our national vision and mission is that the National Association of Women Business Owners propels women entrepreneurs into economic, social, and political spheres of power worldwide by, and then we have 4 subsets: strengthening the wealth, creating capacity of our members, and promoting economic development within the entrepreneurial community. So we have things related to that segment, like a certification workshop next Tuesday that we're providing to the community with procurement and diversity suppliers, as well as information about registration for minority businesses. Our second is creating innovative and effective change in the business culture, working in different spaces regarding diversity and inclusion, different types of programming. And then additionally, the third bullet point is building strategic alliances, coalitions, and affiliations. And we actually have had on this session tonight a few of us who are connected in various different ways with other organizations. And then lastly, transforming public policy and influencing opinion makers. So working with our elected officials to try and help with legislative goals. So if you go to NAWBO.org, you can see the vision and mission, but then you can also look at those SMART goals of the different programming, the different social aspects, advocacy elements that we put into play. So you can kind of see how it all unfolds, because to look at that statement of strengthening and creating and building and transforming, it's very aspirational. So then it's how do we get it down to Tuesday from 11:30 to 1:30, there's a Zoom call.
Right. Mm-hmm. That is a perfect example too, I think, how you take the loftiness and then put it in like the actions of how you're going to meet that lofty goal. And it's a good framework for anyone to use too. I think too, like Callie, that might be a beneficial way to look at things too, is kind of scaffolding it, having different sentences to speak to your audience around big data, visualization, AR, and storytelling.
Yeah, this has already been helpful.
Good, yeah, and just keep, again, put some intention around continuing to develop it and massage it. It should not be right the first time. And if you write something and you send it to a friend and your friend is like, this is great, I love this, send it to somebody else. You want someone who's a deep critical thinker, almost to the point of annoyance, would be my advice. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay, I'd like to see if I can share.
Yes, please.
Okay, so my name is Tanisha Cherry, and I feel like I have 4 different statements of vision. I don't necessarily know if I hit the mark for mission or purpose, but I do have 4 statements, and I thought they were clear for my vision, mission, and purpose. But now that I'm attending this workshop, I'm not necessarily sure. So for my vision, I thought to promote growth, prosperity, and greatness in adolescent girls and women everywhere, regardless of age, race, social standing, or economic status. Also, to enlighten, encourage, and empower women across the country and the world to awaken, build, strengthen, and reveal their inner champion. My mission is to build the self-esteem and self-worth of all girls and to help women of all ages during all stages through all phases of womanhood to be bold, brave, beautiful, brilliant, and balanced. And my purpose is to help women locally, nationally, and internationally to identify their personal vision, address the pain and break the chain of self-doubt, and to reshape their destiny.
Wow. We need that in our life. Every single one of us. Like, you need to put on a poster for all of us.
Yeah, and so like I said, I think I have a lot of information, but I'm not necessarily sure if it hits the mark for my vision, my mission, and my purpose. I think I may have 2 of the 3, but I'm not necessarily sure anymore.
No, I actually think, and everyone else welcome to chime in here too, since we're all an audience. I would almost need to see it written out, but I would guess that, yes, I do think you have a vision. And I think in some of those sentences, we could maybe form them into the mission, into what that mission actually is. And then your purpose too, I mean, is incredible what you're doing. And I also think your purpose statement is intertwined there. So I actually do think you have all 3 parts. I would almost separate them out on a sheet of paper, like put each one on a sheet of paper.
Okay.
And then come back around to each one and say, is this a lofty goal? Is this an actionable thing that I can do? Because if it's actionable, right, if that's where we're going to kind of put in the hard work, maybe that's more of the mission. Is this the why for the audience, why people would want to journey around this? So I would, and you might flip them around, you might change some words, you might look at all sheets and you might all go all the sheets and you might go, this is my vision statement. So.
Yeah, I think I kind of just get way too passionate about it, and I just kind of like, I go after it with 150%, and then there's words everywhere, and I'm not really sure where they fit, but I'm just really sure that it's something that I should be doing.
Yes, yeah, and that's what's important. Can you read it to us again?
Sure. So it says, I thought my vision was to promote growth, prosperity, and greatness in adolescent girls and women everywhere, regardless of age, race, social standing, or economic status, to enlighten, encourage, and empower women across the country and the world to awaken, build, strengthen, and reveal their inner champion. My mission is to build the self-esteem and self-worth of all girls and to help women of all ages during all stages through all phases of womanhood to be bold, brave, beautiful, brilliant, and balanced. And why? The purpose is because I want to help women locally, nationally, and internationally to identify their personal vision, address the pain and break the chain of self-doubt, and to reshape their destiny.
I love it so much. Okay, I think the one thing, if I'm hearing properly, that you would want to maybe focus on next, that might be this missing puzzle piece for you. How are you going to do this? How are you doing it?
Okay.
And that might help piece together.
Okay, I will work on that piece.
Mm-hmm. Think about the how. How is this going to happen? Mm-hmm.
Okay. Action items. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also go to the SMART goals. Think about the things you're going to do to reach your vision. Let's just say all of that is your vision. Let's just go with that. Write down those SMART goals, and that also might have you come back to it. So yes, we are at 7 o'clock, a little bit over actually, my apologies. I'm sure we're all getting a little hungry. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Liz and Cassie for giving me an opportunity to be here and spend time with all of you amazing, amazing people. I'm going to toss it back to Liz. Janet, it was so nice to see you. For those of you who don't know, Janet and I are both at Northeastern working on our degree. We've gotten to bounce around Boston together for 2 summers in a row and play as college students, which is just a great time. So it's nice to see you here, my friend. I'm going to toss it back to Liz now. It's all yours, my friend.
Thank you so much, Katie, and thank you for everyone who was able to join us tonight. Very quickly, before you all leave, I just want to let everyone know that this topic will continue next week on August 19th at 6 p.m. is our exclusive participant virtual roundtable. It will be featuring Anne-Marie Hayward, founder and CEO of Coached by Design, and Candy Bryan, NAWBO Orlando's Propel Her 2020 Emerging Business Winner. I think Cassie is going to be putting the link to our websites in the chat box. If you're interested in more of the sessions, hop on over and see how you can join. We will stay on with Katie. If any of you happen to have any last minute questions for NAWBO or for Katie, if not, I would like all of you to continue on with your afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Of course, feel free to email me too, Tanisha. Happy to help.
Okay, definitely.
Thank you. Blessings.
I'll go back to the
Thank
chat
you.
and try to find your email.
Here, I'll type it in real quick here at the bottom too.
Okay, great.
Blessings to everyone. Good night.
Night.
Thank you so much.
Okay, come on.